This is Aisha. She's a teenager living in rural Niger. In her life, she will have 7.03 children. This is the highest birth rate in the world. 3 of her children will be underweight. She has a 15% chance of being literate and will likely leave school before the end of primary, if she goes at all. Her female neighbors in the village next door are cloistered, never allowed to leave the home during the day without a male guardian. Her soil is among the most infertile in the world. 70% of her 17 million fellow Nigerians are under the age of 25. 60% of her fellow rural citizens have unsafe, unimproved drinking water. The same percent of the country live below the poverty line. 10% of households are electrified. 20% of her compatriots have mobile phones. 80% of Nigerians live in rural areas. As you can see, Aisha is grasping at the fringes of society and economic worth in a country that routinely ranks last or next to last on the Human Development Index. All things static, she and her age set have a minimized hope of a prosperous and healthy life. But through the mobile handset, or its future equivalent, and a suite of well-coordinated, value-added services, Aisha future looks richly different and much more promising. In fact, Aisha can become a fully empowered, informed, and connected citizen through a new and bold approach to mobile and digital technology design and deployment. It's built on top of some big ideas too, both in theory and practice. Once we get a sub-$25 smartphone into the market and in our hands, sometime in the near future, with cheaper data rates to follow, things are going to get very exciting. And once we turn the rhetoric into action, Aisha world suddenly functions drastically different. Universal real-time language translation services will connect her to the Digital Library of Congress and convert any text into Hausa or French, thereby opening her to a wealth of information and new opportunities that will slow the rate of urban migration because of job growth opportunities at the rural level. Mobile-powered drip irrigation that she controls from her house with an on-off switch will conserve water. Remote sensors will allow Aisha to monitor the recharge rates of wells, to balance use and overuse, while notifying people to switch to other wells when water levels are low, and signal the date on which they can return. The sensors will also notify her of when crops and trees need nutrients and water. Health applications will coordinate her family planning, healthy births, and nutritional intake. Mobile-enabled diagnostic tools will monitor the rates of severe and acute malnutrition of her children and suggest preventative solutions. Inventive apps will track the gestation periods and health of livestock and will coordinate with veterinarian services in her regional capital to provide vaccinations on time and when needed. Aisha's mobile news feed will notify her of when the market bus is arriving, coordinated with a seat reservation app that also remits payment via her mobile wallet while the bus is en route. This alert service will also inform her if corn is in the market on a given day, from her preferable sellers at a good price, leading to cost and time savings in cases when she doesn't need to travel. All of her messaging apps will have a voice-to-text, text-to-voice functionality that will reduce barriers to technical literacy. On the farm, sensors will track trespassers and alert local police forces. Mobile insurance services will mitigate risks of and provide relief against farmland damage during floods or droughts. Newly developed and proven sensors will warn against pest infestation in her family's granaries. Pay-as-you-go solar power systems will expand levels of rural electrification through mobile payment methods. Augmented reality tools will help her better understand the surrounding environment and adapt to its harsh conditions. And her VR code reader will allow family members to point the phone at the TV screen and track statistics and videos of their favorite football players during matches. This is the Internet of Things redefined, as it looks rather different to people in other countries and cultures. Think not of coffee makers, refrigerators, and thermostats that are controlled by mobile technology. Aisha's things are what keep rural life in Niger and throughout much of Africa moving forward without dramatically changing the physical infrastructure and urbanizing her community. For Aisha, mobile and digital technologies serve as the linchpin of rural development. Just about anyone can design an app, but it takes an entire ecosystem and beyond to design the suite of apps and related components that will help Aisha realize her dreams. Bold vision requires a bolder set of solutions, And the conversation about what that looks like begins with Aisha, and it begins here today.